So here we go, we're going to start standing. Find yourself a space. And we'll just start, while you're finding a space, just start to circle your shoulders round. Take a nice deep breath in as you circle your shoulders round. That's it. Good. Now just start slowing the breathing down. Nice slow breath in as you do a few shoulder rolls. And a slow breath out as you do a few shoulder rolls. There we go. Just feeling nice and relaxed through the shoulders. Slow your breathing down. Lovely. And we're going to take a side bend to the side. So imagine one arm sitting nice and heavy, and we're just going to slide down to one side and reach down the side and feel the stretch coming up through the side that you're lifting, and then gently come back up to center. Slowly down to the other side. Just start easing into it gently as we start, and gently come back up. There we go. Let's have the breathing in. So do a nice breath out as you reach down, and breathe in as you slowly come back up. Don't worry if you get confused by the breathing, but you can breathe out slowly, slide down, and breathe in as you slide back up. There we go, a few more. Breathe out, reach down. See if you can get down a little bit further each side. And just notice if there's any tension or pain in your back. Obviously, if there's pain, then stop. If there's tension, just note how far you get with each side, and just see if you can get a little bit further each time you go down. One more onto each side. Breathe out, go down, breathe in, come back up. Here we go, last one here. Breathe out and breathe in. Good, just standing up nice and tall. We'll loosen through the neck before we get into more exercises. So drop your chin down towards your chest. Just first of all, just releasing through your neck. So for some of you, this is already a nice enough stretch. So just keep your chin down towards your chest. Now imagine someone's grabbed hold of the back of your head and lifting it up. So you feel that lengthen through the back of your neck as you keep your chin down towards your chest. And then just slowly come up, look forwards. Again, we'll go one more. Drop chin to chest. Drop your chin down. Feel that lengthening through the back of your neck. This time, keep your chin down towards your chest and keep your chin down towards your collarbone so you're not tempted to look up. Keep it down towards your shoulder and your collarbone. Just hold it there. And in this position, opposite shoulder. So I'm looking towards my left. My right shoulder, I'm going to draw back, pulling it towards the wall behind me. So now I'm getting a nice stretch through the front of my chest at the same time. There we go. And then just gently relax that shoulder, let it hang back down, and slowly roll your head around your chest and look towards the other shoulder. So again, keeping your chin down towards your collarbone, towards your shoulder, not looking up anywhere. And opposite shoulder is going to draw all the way back. So we're creating as much space between the two fronts of our shoulders as you can. So really stretch that shoulder back and down. Fantastic. And then release the shoulder, roll your chin around your chest, and then come back up to looking forwards. That's fantastic. Right, take your feet a little bit wider apart. So they need to be relatively wide enough that you're nice and supported. Don't end up in the splits for me. So in this position here, we're just going to bend one knee and just lengthen through the inside thigh of one side. Slowly push up with the leg. Try not to use your back or anything else, and drop down onto the other side. Just for me, just take note of where your knees are going over your toes. So your knees need to go directly over your big toe and your second toe. I don't want to see any knees doing all sorts of things like that. Okay, coming back in. So if you want to add the breathing in, you're going to do a nice breath out as you drop down, and breathe in as you push back up. So breathe out, slide down into that. Feel that stretch through the inner thigh there, and coming back up. There we go. Breathe out as you go down. Push through your leg as you come back up. So there's a little bit of work in this stretch. Not all stretches are passive. Some of them have to have a little bit of work. There we go. Breathe out, come down. So I'm keeping my body nice and tall though, watching you not leaning forwards as you do this. There we go. A couple more like this. You'll probably notice you can go further one way than you can the other way. I know it's definitely looking like I can. Okay, one more on each side. And then go down onto the other side. Good. Keeping your feet this distance apart, and you take a nice deep breath in, bring your arms all the way up, and then breathe out. And this time you can fold forwards from your hips, roll yourself all the way down, hands come down. Take a nice breath in, roll all the way up, reach, really feel that lengthening all the way through your chest, through your abdomen, and then breathe out, fold forward. So if I show you from the side, coming all the way up And then as you come down, bend straight through your back, rolling down, circle the arms up, nice big breath as you come up, really reach. And breathe out as you fold forwards. There we go. So keep going like that, a few more. Breathe in, come up. And breathe out, bend forwards. Feel the stretch. There we go. Nice breath in to come up. Breathe out, bend forwards. Relax down. There we go. Breathe in. Last one coming up. This time when we're going down, we're just going to hold it. So come down, hands are onto the floor. So ideally hands are touching the floor, but don't worry if your hands don't. If your hands are sort of hanging up here, that's fine. See if you can just maybe take your legs a little bit wider so your hands do touch the ground. And we're feeling a nice release through the low back here. So good. And just keep breathing. Try not to hold your breath at this point. And if you feel comfortable to, see if you can walk your hands backwards now. So they're going between your legs a little bit further back. We're just going to draw your shoulders down towards the floor a little bit more. And we should get a bit more of a stretch through the low back here. There we go, good. And again, just keep breathing, hold this stretch. And then gently bring your hands back so they're level with your feet again. Let's take both hands off towards one foot. So again, if your hands are up here somewhere, then you're just coming around to reach your calf. But if your hands are touching the floor, walk your hands around and see if you can grab one of your feet. You can stretch the other leg out. If your knee feels good, you can even bend your knee and come right down into it, which will bring you a nice stretch through the inner thigh as well. But if your knees are not good, try not to bend that one. So heat yourself up and keep it as a nice back stretch. So you're either in this position or you're bending your knee and you're coming deep down into it. Do whatever feels good for you. There we go. And then when you're ready, come back up. We'll walk your hands around towards the other foot. So first of all, hands around feet or foot. And just hold that stretch. And then either staying in this position or bending that knee down so you're coming deeper into that lunge. So getting more of a stretch through that inner thigh there. There we go, good. And just hold that. Super. Okay, bring your hands back towards the center. From here, I just want you to imagine you're arching your back up. So those, if you've joined us before, if you think about those cat-cow poses that we do normally on all fours, here you're going to do it from this position here with your hands down. Take a nice breath in. See if you can push your shoulders all the way up towards the ceiling here. And then breathe out. Just let your shoulders sink down towards the floor. There we go. Breathe in. Push the floor away from you. Use your hands to push right down into the floor. Push your shoulders up. And breathe out, come down. Good. Breathe out, push your shoulders up. And breathe out, come down. Just two more. Breathe in, shoulders up. Try and arch through the upper part of your back. And breathe out, come down. Last one, big push up. And then sink down. Good. Use your feet to help push you up. And just come gently out of that. We're going to go down onto the mat. So you're coming onto your knees. Tilt that down so you can see. Okay, we're coming down onto your knees. From this position here, we're going to stretch through the front of your forearms. So we've done this one before. The nice strong stretch, you're going to come onto hands and knees and point your fingers backwards so they're coming towards your knees. And from here, you're just going to drive your bottom back. Try and keep your palms all on the mat at the same time, and then gently come back forwards onto your wrists. And then lean back. If this is really uncomfortable for your wrists, your alternative is just coming into this position and just drawing the fingers back so you get that stretch through the front of your arms, and make sure you swap onto the other side. So that's your alternative. There we go. Sit your bottom back, feel that stretch, come back up. And if you're with me with this one, you want to try and feel that each time you go back, you're getting a little bit further. You can hold it for quite a while and like hold it as a strong stretch and just stay there. Or we can just keep easing back into it. So take the pressure off and then bottom goes back, feel the pressure and then release, come back up. Again, do what feels right for you. Just watch your shoulders haven't snuck up and you're sort of gripping your ears. So think about that nice lengthening of your neck as you do that. That will take any tension out your shoulders. You won't realise you're doing it until I sort of remind you. There we go. Lovely. Last bit, so make sure you've swapped hands if you're doing it still kneeling. There we go. Okay, and now We'll take your hands around so that they are facing forwards again. You're going to sit all the way down onto your heels and come into this nice little shell stretch, child pose. Reach your hands forward, drop your head down towards the floor, and just feel that release through your shoulders as you're reaching forwards with your hands. Super. Okay, don't forget to keep breathing. Take a nice deep breath in. I want you to feel the breath come right down to the bottom of your rib cage here. So you're really taking a nice breath. Draw that breath right to the bottom of your rib cage and breathe out. Let everything sink down. Reach your hands forwards a bit further. Breathe in and breathe out. Good. Now from here, leave one hand forwards, and with the other hand, okay, one hand forwards, with the other hand, we're going to slide it through. So we're doing that sort of a threading the needle, but we're still doing it still down in this this position. So leave that hand forwards. Other hand is going to sneak through the gap between your underneath your armpit, basically. So you've got one hand pushing forwards and the other hand pushing kind of at right angles to it. So we're trying to thread this arm through, and you should feel a nice stretch between your shoulder blades as you do this one. Okay, good. So again, we can work with breathing. So breathe in, hold your position. As you breathe out, see if you can thread that arm through just a little bit further. And breathe in, hold. And breathe out, thread that arm through. I can never get my teeth, always comes out with this there. Okay, breathe in to hold, breathe out, stretch it through, and then gently just slide that arm back. We're going to swap the arms around, so now that arm's going out straight, and this arm's going to sneak through underneath your armpit this side, and reach through. So I've got it coming through at that 90 degrees there. So again, breathing in, hold position, and breathe out, see if it can slide through a bit further. Breathe in to hold, and breathe out, see if it can stretch forwards a little bit further. Good. Breathe in, and breathe out, reach if you can, and gently come back. Perfect. We are going onto your back. So I'm going to put those pillows to the side. There we go. Onto your back. Get yourself nice and comfortable. Feet and knees together. And we're just going to rotate through the spine. So drop both knees down to one side and gently use your spine to rotate back up. Try not to use your legs to do all the work. Drop the knees down just so we're rotating through your back. There we go. Drop the knees down. Again, if you want to work with breathing, you're going to breathe out as you drop the knees down. Breathe in, bring them back to the start point. And breathe out, drop them down to the other side. Again, don't worry about breathing. As long as you are breathing, not holding your breath, that's fine. There we go. And just keep feeling the release coming through your low back, rotating your spine up towards your shoulder blades as you're dropping the knees down. There we go. Super. So one more to each side now. There we go. Finish up that last one. And from here, I would like you to stretch one leg out nice and long. Other knee comes up towards your chest. So you're going to hold with both hands to hold on towards your knee. And from here, I want you to just circle the knee around and start to draw some circles with the knee. If you find it easier just with one hand because you can get out a little bit wider, then you can do that. Or if you want to use both hands to draw the knee in closer towards your chest, do what feels good for you. Just try and get as much movement through that hip as you can. So you're circling it round. There we go. So hopefully it should feel comfortable. If you're getting any pain in your groin, then obviously stop or draw your circles a little bit smaller. Now from here, keeping that same knee, you're going to use the opposite hand and draw it all the way across. Take your knee down towards the floor if you can. Opposite arm goes out nice and wide. And then we should feel that stretch coming right through your bottom there. Good. And it should be comfortable in your spine, through your back. If it's not, obviously take yourself back or come out of that stretch. And just use that hand that's on top of the knee now, just to draw it down towards the floor. So if you're not touching the floor, if you're like me, your knee's still got a bit of a distance to go, use that hand just to draw it down towards the floor a little bit. Again, only a little bit of encouragement. Try not to force it down. There we go, good. So here I'm getting a nice stretch through my glutes, but I'm also getting a nice stretch through the front of my chest with my arm out nice and wide there. Perfect. And just keep breathing. Fantastic. Right, when you come back, bring your lower feet back round. That will take the pressure off your low back. Good. Okay, let's swap over onto the other leg. So the leg that's just gone over, that's now your straight leg, and the other knee is coming up. So we can do both hands and do that nice drawing towards your chest, or you can do single hand and really rotate it out, so opening up through the hip as much as you can. There we go, just circle it round. And again, each time to see if we can really open up through that hip. Try not to roll round with it. Keep your hips facing up towards the ceiling and just rotate it through that hip. Good. Okay, opposite hand comes over. You're going to grab hold of that knee and draw it all the way over towards the floor. Opposite arm is going out wide behind you, so you're getting that stretch through your chest, through those pec muscles. And your hand that's on top of your knee, again, it's just encouraging it down. So I'm not ripping it, really forcing it down. I'm just meeting the pressure of my legs so that I can get a nice stretch through my glutes just here. And just feel that release through there. Super. And again, just hold it. Work with your breathing. Each time you breathe out, just ask all of those muscles, anywhere you feel tension in your body, just ask it to relax and release down. Breathe in and breathe out. Just soften that knee down. Good. Perfect. So now when we bring the knees back, draw that lower knee in, so you've got both knees and ankles together, and then sweep the legs back. That will take that tension out of your back. Okay, good. Bring both knees in towards your chest and just circle round. Let's loosen through the back now. Draw those circles. Let's go a few round in one direction and make sure we balance up and do a few round in the other direction. There we go, we're changing directions now. Fantastic. Okay, let's take you over onto your side. So if you've got a pillow handy, have your pillow ready to pop your head onto. I'm going to get you lying on your side in this position so your arms are stretched out. Just keep your knees nice and bent and in a comfortable position. Both arms out in front of you, hands are together. Okay, from here, we're just going to use the top arm. I want you to imagine you're lying on a beach, you've got surrounded by sand, and you're going to draw a circle with your top arm. So you're going to try and trickle your finger all the way around, drawing a nice big circle in the sand around you. So as your hand goes over the top of your head, let your shoulder roll back to try and keep your hand in contact with the floor the whole way round. As you scoop your arm round, it comes then all the way around over the top of your hip and reaches forward back to that start position. Here we go, always backwards. So lift up, take your arm up above your head. This way we're encouraging the shoulder to come backwards. So if you've been hunched over a desk all day, this is a really nice one to open up through your shoulder, rotate round. Don't worry too much about where your hips are going. If you're used to doing Pilates with me, you'll know I normally tell you not to move your hips, but this is stretch and release, so we're going with the flow. Roll that arm around, really let that stretch happen through your chest. Roll your arm around. There we go. Couple more. Reach. Imagine each of those circles you're drawing around you, you're drawing a bigger one each time. Really stretch around. There we go. Last one. Reach. Circle that hand all the way down. Try and keep it in contact with the floor. If it doesn't reach the floor, don't force it. Just see each time you go around whether you can keep it there. And then when you've made your way back to the start position, so your hands are back at that starting position, just rest there for me. Perfect. Good. Now with your top arm, we're now going to stretch through our quad muscles. So we're going to stretch through our hip flexors. We're going to do it on our sides, so stay where you are. Grab hold of your ankle and use this top arm to pull your heel in towards your bottom. So you've got a couple of ways of doing it. So from here, obviously use your hand to pull your heel towards your bottom, but if you don't feel a stretch through your front of your thigh at this point, I want you to push your hips forward and see if you can take your knee further back, and there you'll feel the stretch. Watch your knee doesn't start open too far up towards the ceiling. Try and keep your knee sort of parallel to the other leg. And you can keep your bottom knee bent because that's going to be a lot more stable. You're working really hard through the muscles. It's not such an enjoyable stretch if you straighten that bottom leg out. So keep it bent so that the whole focus of the exercise we're doing at the minute is all on that hip flexor of that top leg there. Good. So remember, if you're not quite feeling it, push your hips forwards, and that will really open up through those hip flexors. So you should feel a nice strong stretch here. Good. And then just gently release and let the leg relax down. Perfect. We're going to swap over onto the other side. So I'm going to spin over so you can roll over onto your other side. There we go. Get your head onto your pillow if you've got one. If you haven't got one, obviously put your head down towards the ground. But if you try it again in your own time, get a pillow because it's a little bit more comfortable. Hands come out in front of you, knees bent. Top arm is going to lengthen away. And imagine again, you're back on your beach, drawing that circle all the way around you, just trickling your hands in the sand as you open your arm nice and wide all the way around, and then scoop it up over your hip. Back to that start position, lengthen the arm, so really push that shoulder forward, really stretch, and imagine you're drawing a bigger circle each time. If you were to look at those fingerprints in the sand, you've kind of drawn a little bit of a rainbow effect. There we go. Let's do a few more, really reach. Open up through that chest as you roll round. Don't worry too much about your hips. They can kind of go with the flow with this exercise. Reach up above you. Imagine your arms getting a little bit longer. Really enjoy that stretch through your chest as you open your arm back. You should be feeling a real stretch through those chest muscles as you go around, unless you're really lucky and have nice long pecs already. There we go. Let's do the last one. Circle it around. Really reach, reach, reach. And scoop it back up and come to that start position. Just let your hands rest. Everybody's caught up. And we're going into our hip flexor stretch. So grab hold of your ankle. Draw that heel in towards your bottom. If you're not, I mean, this for some people is already quite a deep stretch. But if you need to stretch a little bit more, push your heel in towards your bottom a bit more. Push your hips forward and take that knee right back behind your bottom leg. There we go. And just feel that hip flexor stretch. So you should be feeling it all the way down through that front of your thigh there. There we go. And again, just keep the knee nice and parallel to the ground. Watch your knee doesn't start going too high up. There we go. Good. Just keep breathing. Keep enjoying that stretch. Lovely. And when you're ready, just gently release out of that slowly and slowly relax. Pop that leg down. I'm going to take you over onto your backs again. So roll yourself over onto your back. Get yourself nice and comfortable. We're going to bring knees in towards chest. Hands go round behind the back of the knees. And you're going to lengthen both legs up towards the ceiling. You're going to bend your knees as you breathe in. Hug them right in tight. And then breathe out. Lengthen both legs up as much as you can. So we're getting the stretch through the back of your hamstrings here. Breathe in, tuck them in. Breathe out, lengthen them up. There we go. Breathe in, draw them in. Breathe out, lengthen. Breathe in, draw in. Breathe out, lengthen. Two more like this. Breathe in, hug them right tight towards your chest. Feel that open through your low back. Breathe out, lengthen up towards the ceiling. Feel that stretch through the back of your legs. If your knees are a little bit bent, hopefully they're becoming a little bit more straight. There we go. Good. This time, hold the legs up nice and straight. From here, I want you to point your toes towards the ceiling, then point your heels towards the ceiling. So you're going to feel extra stretch through the backs of your legs now. So toes up, heels up. Toes up, heels up. Lovely. Toes up, heels up. Good. Fantastic. Last couple. Toes and heels. Toes and heels. Gently bring your knees in. Just hug towards your chest. Pop your feet down onto the mat. Stretch your legs away. Stretch your arms away. Take yourself into a nice full body stretch so you're really lengthening. Imagine someone's grabbed your heels and pulling them one way, grabbing your wrists and pulling the other way. So you're feeling that nice spacing movement or stretch coming between each of those vertebrae in your back. And imagine you've just been created a little bit of 2 inches taller. Super. Good. Gently bring your arms down by your side. Bring your knees back up into this sort of feet onto the floor, knees bent up towards the ceiling. What I would like you to do now is drop one knee out, so you're opening up through your hip. Now imagine you're drawing a semicircle with your heel on your mat, so lengthen the leg out, take it straight, draw the knee back up. Open the knee out, so other knee staying up towards the ceiling, this knee's dropping out. Draw a little semicircle with your heel so it ends up straight, and then draw it back up. So knee drops out, heel comes away from the midline, so you're drawing that semicircle with your heel, and then come back up. Let's do a few more on this side. Knee drops out, heel comes away from the midline, draw that semicircle, lengthen, so we're opening up through the hip joint more. There we go, take it away, lengthen, scoot back up, knee drops out, circle. Last one, scooping up, knee drops out, draw that semicircle and lengthen back up onto the other side. So drop the knee out, bring your heel away from the midline, lengthen it out, scoop it back up. Knee drops out, heel away from midline, draw that semicircle, draw a straight line back up to start. Knee drops out, heel comes out, draw that semicircle and scoot back up. Knee drops out, semicircle and scoot back up. Perfect. Last one. And back up. Perfect. Gently bring yourselves up to sitting. And if you can, let's go into our stretch. We've already lengthened our inner thighs, so hopefully this will be a little bit easier than if you've done it before. So soles of feet together, drop the knees out, just let gravity do its thing and drop the knees out. Try not to roll through your back or force your knees down, just go to where they're comfortable. And you should be feeling that stretch through the inner thigh there. So if you're feeling a nice stretch, then just stay where you are. If you need a little bit more of a stretch, then just start to lean forward. So drop your chest down towards your feet and just feel that stretch through your low back. So try not to round yourself as you come down. Try and really lengthen your spine and push your chin over the top of your toes. Good. And just hold it. And gently come back up when you're ready. There we go. Let's take it over onto all fours. Let's loosen through the back. So old favourite here. Nice deep breath in. Push your spine up towards the ceiling. And breathe out. Sink down. Lift your hips. Lift your chest. Breathe in. Tuck under. Push up. And breathe out. Roll through the hips. Roll through the chest. Look forwards. Two more. Tuck under. Nice deep breath. Feel that stretch across the top of your shoulders. Sink down. Lift your hips. Lift your chest. Last one. Breathe in. And breathe out. Tuck your toes under. Stick your bottom high towards the ceiling if you can. Let's walk through the heels and feel the stretch through the back of your calves. There we go. Easing those heels down towards the mat. If your heels touch easily, bring your feet in closer. If you're like me, just keep working on it. We'll get there one day. There we go. And when you're ready, walk your feet in towards the center of your mat. Hands come back towards your feet, straighten through your legs and slowly peel yourself back up so you're coming up to standing. There we go. And we're just going to get you to take a nice deep breath in, bring your arms up. And breathe out, bring your arms down. Good. Breathe in, reach your arms all the way up. And breathe out, come down. Breathe in, come up. And breathe out. This time, bend your knees. Give your arms all the way around to your shoulders. Give yourself a bit of a hug. Push through your legs. Breathe in, come up. And breathe out. Bend your knees. Give yourself a little bit of a hug. Push through your legs. Breathe in, come up. And breathe out, come down. Last one. Breathe in, come up. And breathe out, sink down. Hug your shoulders. Push yourselves up to standing. Shake out through your arms. Shake out through your legs. Well done. I hope you enjoyed that, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.